last night. The Hughes brothers played 6-5. Devils were 4-2. They were up. Then they tied it. The Canucks 5-5. Jesper Bratt scored his second goal of the day, and they ended up holding on 6-5. But all three brothers scored goals. Actually, Luke Hughes got his fourth goal of the season and was assisted by his brother, Jack, which is pretty cool. And Jack Hughes had a goal, 2 assists, and Quinn Hughes had 2 assists. So they all got Devils now 12-10-1, Vancouver 69-1, 69-1. They all are on the thing, which I think is really cool. I like that they're all on it together. I think that's, I saw that. And, Rob was talking the other day about watch out for the Kings. Well, the Kings tied the 2006-2007 Sabres, who that season had 112 points and lost in the Eastern Conference Finals 4-1 to Ottawa. They started the season winning their first 10 road games. They tied that record, the Kings, last night, and they were down 3-0 going into the third, and Columbus blew their third period. What's up, Josh? Third period lead this season, but that was their first over 2 goals. Down 3-0 going to the third. They came back. Islanders blew a 4-1 lead in the third to the Sharks, who came back to win 5-4 in overtime. So you had 2 games, teams up 3 in the third period, and they couldn't shut it down. That's what happens. Yeah, Islanders fell to 10-7-7, and San Jose improved to 7-17-2. Canucks fell to 16-9-1, as I said. Devils 12-10-1. Kings, man, that's pretty awesome. 4-3. Drew Doughty scored 32 seconds into overtime. I mean, hey, listen, 15-4-3. Columbus is 15-4-5, which is no bueno. Yeah, Kings first team. That's it. Yeah. So the Sabres I talked about. Isles have their own NYC subway. Today I was on the Rangers subway car when I was going cross town on the shuttle from west to east, which is pretty cool. Patrick Kane will play his first Red Wings, make his debut Thursday night at home against San Jose. The Rangers, they did not play well. Oh, and I love when I see Brian Baston posted this. Philip Forsberg, 16th career shootout goal. He, in the win over the Blackhawks 4-3 last night, he broke a tie with Martin Errett. He also broke, who had 15. They both were tied at 15, and also broke a tie with Errett with his 48th shootout shot. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. They improved to 13-12, and Chicago, Bedard did not score 17-6-1. Yeah, 8th blown lead in third period this year, and they've only played 27 games, Columbus. That is not a good start. Thank you, Brian Hedger, for that. The Rangers stunk. They were never, 1-0. And the last 2 games, they had won when the opponent scored a goal, not last night. And they were NHL high, 18 wins, lost 6-2 last night. Mika Zibanejad is on an 8-game point streak, 4 goals, 6 assists, 10 points. In the previous 12 games, he had 5 points. So in 24 games, 6 goals, 14 assists. He has 20 points on the season, but yeah, they did not, not a very good game for the Rangers. No, it was not a good game. We had it on. I was watching the UNC game. I was talking to Josh during that. UNC needs to get tougher. They just got the shit kicked out of them by every time they got close. They got it to 5, and then it was over. I mean, they just couldn't. They couldn't turn the corner. They teased you. That's what they did. And yeah, I mean, Baycott to me, I just don't think they should be better. And Cadeau, there's something I need more from Cadeau. A couple turnovers, couldn't hit the big shot. The transfer from last night, the transfer, they had 2 kids transferred. Was it Cormac, the kid from Notre Dame? He didn't get much done last night. He had looked good early in the season. It did not pan out yesterday. Yes, so Panarin got his 16th goal, 21st goal and assist. Mika 14th assist. Keandre Miller got his 5th. Brady Tkachuk had 2 goals last night for Ottawa. And that is all I have to. Now, I love this. My cousin Hal sent me something yesterday. Well, sent me 2 things. C.J. Stroud is now second in Pro Bowl voting, which is now the Pro Bowl games, which is a bunch of bullshit, which is not even, that's not football to me. But he sent me something from, I think it was James Palmer, who was overheard Stroud. Now, Stroud is a second-year player, right? Well, I'm sorry, a rookie. right? He's a rookie. Yes, I'm sorry. He's a rookie who was talking to Nico Collins in the locker room because, Tank Dell went down. And he goes, Nico Collins, who had almost 200 yards receiving, like 191 yesterday on their win Sunday. And he told them, beat the Broncos. He told them that, Nico, you need to be the leader of the wide receiver room. Leader of the wide. He's telling, he's already acting like a leader with that team. And he's telling his wide receiver, you got to lead you got to be the leader of the wide receiver room. I need you to be that guy going forward. We need a guy to be, and he's only a rookie. God damn it. And who was I reading about that said he has the purest throwing motion? I read that yesterday, but I can't remember who did it. There's Rob. Yeah, Rob wants to come on. I know he wants to come on. But Rob, there's some stuff. I did a lot of work today, a lot of stuff I got to get to, but I thought that was interesting. Also, the second thing he sent me was, I did not know this story. So Mac Brown used a lesson when he was at Texas. 2005, they're 11-0. They just blew out They won a game 66-14, and Parcells reaches out to him, who was then the coach of the Cowboys, and Mac Brown had played for Parcells at Florida State. Played for him at Florida State. And he called him up because they're going to play their rival, which is Texas A&M. And Parcells is telling Mac Brown that, the Aggies, who finished the season 5-6, this was their bowl game. This was it. They weren't going anywhere. This game was going to be their bowl game. And, Texas was playing to go to a national championship. And he said, this is Texas A&M Super Bowl. This is the Super Bowl. And they're going to give it the best shot. And he said, their only chance to save their season is to beat you, and you aren't even thinking about them. You're like that big rat that's eating the poison cheese. And Mac Brown's like, I was scared shitless. I'm like, oh my God. I'm saying, I got you, coach. He said he went downstairs and hung a piece of cheese from every locker. And he put his quote up there. That says, you're like that big rat that's eating the poison cheese. So halftime, he thought they were down 29-24. They're actually up 21-15. They ended up winning 40-29. But that game, Vince Young did not have a good game. 13-24, $162, a touchdown, interception. And that night, Reggie Bush had a phenomenal game against Fresno State. So Reggie Bush got the Heisman. He said Vince Young, Mac Brown said, lost the Heisman that night. But that stuck with him. And I never heard that story before. And I was like, that is a great story. I thought that was phenomenal. I loved it. Now, everybody's talking about Soto to the Yankees. Now, I have a buddy, Jason, is a huge Padres fan. And I respect anybody that's a Padres fan. I love him. And today he's texting me. And what I do when I get a text like that is that I have to, I piece it together and I make a conversation. Even though he's not here, I make a conversation between the two of us because that's what I'm trying to do. And I have it. Okay, now. And he reaches out to me because it sounds like Soto is going to be a Yankee within an hour or two, which didn't happen. He said the Padres better get a ridiculous deal back for him. The one that Cashman pulled back, they were asking too much, he said. And now you got Verdugo, who is really not the guy. It's not a guy I'm excited for the Yankees. Yes, a left-handed batter, but if he's in it, I was talking to my buddy Ethan, Yankees recap, and he's saying, well, if they get Soto, then he's another guy. I really don't like, they're saying that, Soto's not a great outfielder. Verdugo is not really a center fielder. That means Judges go to center field, which means there's more chances of injury, which doesn't make me happy. That gets me a little scared. And I said, he's coming to you, Verdugo. He's going to come in the package. And I said, Soto's a 1-year rental because you got Scott Boras, and Boras is going to try to get the most money. If Ohtani's going to get $500 million, then Soto's done everything. Okay, so he says to me, but it's like you get to rent Ted Williams for a year. Padres really don't have to trade him. The deal has to hurt a little. I said, Ted Williams. He goes, he's 25. You look at his numbers. He leads the majors almost every year in goddamn walks. His eye at the plate is the best in the game. He says, but Jason said, if I'm a Yankee exec, I'm looking at him long term, which of course they are. Need to resign him, but you got Boras. And he said his first year in San Diego was a transition for him. He's never been traded and only played one team. It took him a while to get going. He was great by the end of the season. On a 1-year rental, it's a little concerning. Also in a contract year with Scott Boras, he said, that's a little more incentive. And it sounds like he said Cronenworth might be part of the trade too, which would free up a lot of money for the Padres since they just signed up to an extension what I think they signed him to a 7-year, $80 million contract that takes effect this coming season. And Cronenworth this past year, 229, 10 home runs, 48 RBIs. And he said, really, they're paying all this money, and he hasn't really panned out, hasn't done really as well as he thought. I said, well, he could have a bounce back year. Next year could be a better year. And he also said another guy is Trent Grisham, who's won the Gold Glove twice. He's maybe the best defensive center fielder in Major League Baseball, but his bat has been abysmal. So I said, really? And that's another thing. Juan Soto played all 162 games this past year. He had 275, 35 home runs, 109 RBIs, 132 stolen base on balls, led the majors. Trent Grisham, 153 games, 13 home runs, 50 RBIs, 198 batting average. That's like Kyle Schwarber, but Kyle Schwarber hits home runs and knocks in runs. Now, great defensive save runs, but if he's an automatic out when he's up at bat, that's not going to be good for them. And he says below him in the Mendoza line. I said, okay. And I said, I heard Soto, I've been reading, is a below average fielder. Definitely not Gold Glove. He said, nope. And then Dennis Lynn said, Jake Cronenworth is another trade candidate for San Diego, $80 million. He's an 8-team no trade clause that kicked in this offseason. Now, Jason thinks Michael King, Drew Thorpe is a guy that could be included, and he feels that whatever Ohtani gets, Soto's going to ask for $500 million. And I'm like, well, why get rid of Cronenworth? He goes, freeing up money that they committed, terrible year. We talked about, but he could bounce back. Yeah, he could bounce back. I said, and that catcher, that 16-year-old who's going to be 17, Ethan Salas, he's not part of it, but he feels that Preller, the GM, loves scouting and trading. I'm disappointed about Soto, but I get that it makes sense. And now that the owner Seidler died, the odds of re-signing him are 0. And I said, well, he brought up a good point. His business partner now running operations, but his family will have majority ownership for at least the next several years. And then also Sam Levitt said, is the Padres lineup better with Juan Soto? Yes. Does it make prudent sense to move him to free up money, get solid package back, and capitalize on value before he's a free agent? Yes. Can they win without him in 2024, the Padres? Yes. They could all be true. Will it happen? I don't know. But I thought these were all interesting things. And I said, well, why wouldn't they re-sign Soto? He said they signed Machado, Bogarts, Cronenworth, Musgrove, Darvish, all long-term deals. They already get hit with the luxury tax. And if they continued it, it gets a lot harder financially. The TV deal that they had fell through. They didn't make the playoffs. They lost money there. They might have a new TV partner. Seidler didn't care. He just wanted to win championships. But now more prudent voices are there. And I said, what you said is just a lot more eloquent than what I would say. But so, hey, I was curious what you guys think about that. I mean, Soto coming. I mean, I don't love, you like Hubert too? I do like Hubert, Josh, I do, but the team is not playing good basket. I mean, listen, have better than last year, but I need more. I need a tougher team. I need them to be stronger. Now, the whole thing about Soto, I mean, I guess we're going to see. I thought Ohtani was going to sign, and what I see, Mad Dog Russo said something about this is dragging on and on. It's going to drag on. That's what they do. These guys just drag all this shit on. It just goes on forever, right? I mean, it feels like it just goes on forever sometimes. Now, very excited that Zach Wilson is back at quarterback for the Jets. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm being facetious. I mean, it blows my mind, dude. Just blows my mind. Just not good. I mean, what did Sam Monson said something great. He said, can you imagine how pissed off the Jets defense at this point? Spent a half season frustrated. The team didn't bench Zach Wilson to discover 2 weeks later that they're stuck with him again, and that's the best they have going forward. And John Legeza said, of course, the defense and entire fan base would do backflips for Geno Smith, Mike White, Joe Flacco, Sam Darnold, or any other active ex-Jets quarterback still in the league. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree on that. I mean, think about that. Think about you're back with Zach Wilson, and the Texans are coming in. I mean, they lost Tank Dell, but that team, you're going to watch a quarterback in C.J. Stroud that is nothing like you've ever had for the Jets in a very, very long time. A guy that can rip it at any time, can, take over games. I mean, and Jets don't have anything close to that. Well, I mean, now Jermaine Johnson, who was on Last Chance U, I remember watching him. Since week 5, 13th in pressures with 36, 12th in sacks with 7, and 8th in pressure rate with 16.9. That's pretty good. He's only one of 5 edge rushers with 35 plus pressures, 7 plus sacks, and 16% plus pressure rate over this span. Thank you, Michael Nania. And how about Dalvin Cook in the fourth quarter? Well, thank you, Michael Nania, for this. Passing complete to Cook. Cook run for no gain. Cook run for no gain. Simeon strip sack, partially allowed by Cook. Simeon strip sack, partially allowed by Cook. Fantastic. Those are all good things. Why the Jets suck. And, Michigan sent me today. Rob had sent me comparing Mahomes to Tommy Cutlets today. I said, we already talked about that yesterday. And you guys were all going off on the Giants about, I don't know. Rob was talking about some stuff today. I don't know what he's talking about. No, I mean, I know what he was talking about Daniel Jones and about the future, and they were going back and forth. I couldn't keep it up. I said, you know what? This is taking me down a dark hole. I'd rather hear from one of these guys tell me what they were talking about because they're arguing about a guy who can't even play this year. And Daniel Jones, yes, you won a playoff game with it last year. You did. You won a playoff game. Now, everything that could go wrong went wrong in that Eagles game. You went for it on your own side of the field, and you couldn't make any stops. And all the good vibes from the season went in the shitter once you got blown out by the Eagles. Hey, and Ernesto, I don't know, he used some bowling terms yesterday. I was like, oh, okay, dude. But he almost bowled the perfect game, but he seemed like he had a good time, and that's all that matters, right? Now, did you see with this David Carr? Now, it was kind of taken out of context, I guess, but basically he was saying they should sit Hurts until he's healthy because, it's affecting the pass and running games. Also, he doesn't read defenses that well when he's a pocket passer, and Mariota would give them a better chance right now. And I'm thinking, have you watched Mariota? Mariota is a train wreck. 34-40 in his career. I mean, he's not that good. Yes, one day I will come watch you guys bowl. I'll bring my pillow and my blanket, and I'll fall asleep within 40 seconds. Watching you guys bowl. Wow, that should be interesting. No, yeah, I'll come. I mean, I can't bowl for shit. I mean, you could put, no, I'm bad. And then I can never find a ball that works. Like I have to own guess you really have to own your own bowling ball, and that makes sense. But the way you guys spin it and stuff, nah, I don't have patience for that shit. I get too pissed off. That's why I'm not a good bowler. I get angry, like the Hulk. You don't want to see me angry. But then Ernesto's a big dude. I mean, Ernesto must be if he was 310 in high school, I mean, Jesus, that's a big kid. Yeah, and I didn't ask him about the whole lifting thing, if he's still lifting or doing any of that stuff, because he looked like a big guy. So I'm thinking, he could throw people around. That bowling ball must go down screaming down the lane like, ah! Yeah, I mean, wow. Yeah, but I read all that, and I was about David Carr, about Jalen Hurts. I mean, they're 10-2. It's acting like they're having a losing season. He had a bad day. Guys have a bad day. I don't know if it's enough that I'm going to be like, okay, start Mariota. Are you kidding me? No, not good. And Trevor Lawrence, Doug Peterson said he's not going to, let him come in and play right now. If one game isn't, if they get him back next week, that'd be okay. I just think with that ankle injury, I know it's a big division game against the Browns, but I don't know if that's a good move on their part. I think that, we got to see how he is with the ankle injury. I mean, listen, though, Mahomes basically played the whole goddamn playoffs with an ankle injury and in the Super Bowl and was running the goddamn ball. So I'm thinking, if he can play, couldn't anybody play with the ankle? It depends on the ankle injury. But they're saying a high ankle sprain is very painful and it's hard to maneuver. But Mahomes did it last year, and they won a Super Bowl. Zach Ertz, they're saying, could go to the Niners. The rich get richer, huh? And Tyreek Hill beat out Jake Browning. I thought Jake Browning should have got it. I think Tyreek Hill had a great game, but nobody expected Jake Browning to have the game he had against the Jaguars. 354, 2 drops, 5 incompletions, a rushing touchdown, a passing touchdown. Thank you, Marcel Louis Jacques. And then I see all these guys that are going into the NFL draft. Johnny Wilson from Florida State. He's not going to play in the Orange Bowl against Georgia. 41, 617, 2 touchdowns. All right. Okay. There's going to be a lot of guys. A lot of guys going to not play in their bowl games. Dobbs is going to play at Raiders this Sunday. That's the only answer they could have. I talked about Reuben Foster. Remember first round pick with the Niners. Had a try with the Dolphins yesterday. They didn't take him. And I agree with John Ewing about this. I talked about this yesterday. How do you have 2 goddamn Monday Night Football games at the same time? And I found out today, Michigan's cousin has season tickets for the Dolphins. Season tickets. And his goal is that if the Dolphins get the number one seed, that means they host the playoff games, that he'll go to one game, sell the other, and use the winnings to go to the Super Bowl in Vegas. I was like, all right. And he is great. He's in the bottom shelf because he said he's going to the game. I go, dude, I want to go. He's like, I got season tickets. Yeah, if they beat Dallas, they lock up the division. No, let him sit a week after. No. If yes. So wait. Okay. Wait, Ernesto, you're saying I want to read this right. Okay, he's saying if they beat Dallas, they lock up the division. Let him sit a week after until the playoffs, so he's healthy. Start for when needed. But the injuries this year are insane. Now, if they lose the game, I think they drop to fifth. The Eagles. He has to play this week. I don't think he's been healthy for a while. I agree with you, but teams. There are teams that started off undefeated, lost a couple games. I remember the Saints, I think, started 13-0, lost their last 3 games, and they beat the Colts in the Super Bowl that year. It's up into other teams, started hot, sacked players, came to the playoffs, were flat. I just think Mariota is a huge drop-off behind center. Huge drop-off. That's me. I feel like that's a huge drop-off. But I guess we're going to see what happens there. Yeah. And the 2 games at the same time is just stupid. Just dumb. And I don't, this Pro Bowl voting, come on. The Pro Bowl games is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Pro Bowl games. What the hell is that shit? Oh, and you know what? You should be, all you guys who have kids out there, let your kid become a college football coach. So Nick Saban is getting a $100,000 bonus because the NCAA grad success rate for Bama. Plus, he's already up over $525,000 just in on-field bonuses so far, which goes up, I guess, when he wins, if he wins a couple more games. Everybody. Yeah. Oh, Eric is Michigan's cousin. Like he is a podcast up. I don't even know what and he goes by a specific name. He's pretty freaking funny. He's funny. I looked. I it's blank in my head, but everybody thinks Bama's going to beat Michigan. Everybody. And Ernesto agrees that FSU is out. I don't. I feel like, then what's the point? What's the point of playing the games? You're 13-0, you beat everybody, and Bama barely beat Auburn. And Auburn got their asses kicked by New Mexico State 31-10. So I disagree. Bama shouldn't even have been in the should have had 2 losses. There's no way Auburn on a 4th and 31 should allow that touchdown pass. No way. Hugh Freeze sucks. He sucks. That fan base has to be furious with him that you're up a 4th and 31 and you let them get a fucking touchdown and win the game. That's bullshit. That should never happen. You tell your guy to push him out of bounds, take the penalty and give him another shot. Then you put everybody back and just knock the ball down. But he should have never caught that ball. So no, I don't. Yeah, strength of schedule. What strength of schedule? What? Okay, yeah. Okay, Florida State, LSU won at LSU. 11 teams from the ACC are bowl eligible. I know it's 6-6 and everything. And Bama, who did Bama beat? Ole Miss got blown out by Bama and Georgia. They beat Georgia, yes, the last game of the season. Georgia beat Missouri this year. That was their big win this year, going into the and Bama got blown out at home by Texas. Texas came in and beat their asses. I know you go 5th and 56. They won every goddamn game. That has to account for something. I'm sorry. I feel like they got really screwed, Florida State, because of the quarterback. Someone had put down that after Trevor Lawrence got injured, that maybe the Jaguars should be kept out of the playoffs because they can. To use that scenario, that'd be every NFL team. I remember the year that Derek Carr Raiders had a great season. Where'd they go? Like 12-4, and Derek Carr broke his leg before the playoffs started. They were done. Yes, same thing could happen in college football, but you got to give them a shot. Got a good defense. I don't know how good the backup quarterback. I just feel like you really screwed them over for finishing with an undefeated season. Did everything they had to do, beat all the teams in front of them. That's all you can do. And I feel Florida State should have been given a shot. I'm glad Texas got in. I think that matters. Head-to-head, Texas should have got in. But now, and Georgia goes undefeated regular season, loses 1 game by 3 points, and they're out of the college football playoff. Thank God next year it's 12 teams, and that shit won't happen anymore. Oh, here he goes. Rob can wait no longer. He's like bursting at the seams. Guys, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to, you're going to have to all go over to Instagram. I apologize for this. We'll see if he comes on. Yeah, it's still not working. Let's see. Oh, there he is. Hey, there he is. There he is.
JD, oh, my headphones aren't working. Let me